What's up guys, I'm Ronnie Faisst and welcome to the Fight Life page. On this channel we do a few different things. We do how-to videos for motocross, we do behind the scenes vlog style videos, and we do some pretty cool riding videos. But today I want to do something different. I want to share with you guys my helmet collection. Now I've kept all my helmets through the years, almost all of them. I've actually gave a few away to a couple friends, but most of my helmets I have kept. Now some of them have some cool meaning, personal meaning for me. Some of them just been team helmets from different sponsorships, and some of them are just cool art. But check it out. I want to give you guys a little helmet tour. So we're gonna start here in the garage, and I kind of got like half of them out here, and then I have the other half down in the little mini RFMX warehouse. Well, let's start right here. This helmet is really special. This helmet I actually had painted for 9/11, so that's why it has the stars and stripes. It has American flag. It has the cross on the back. So this was just a time when our country was just going through a really tough time, and I wanted to represent and just be supportive of, you know, the firemen and the police officers and all the people that were a part of 9/11, everybody that responded, everyone that lost their life, and everybody that was just there praying for the nation. So this was 9/11, 2001 is when that happened, and I got to wear this helmet in Philly and in front of my hometown. So this helmet, I remember Philadelphia X Games, where all of my family got to come and see. I got to wear this helmet there. So that's pretty cool because Philly was my hometown X Games, because I grew up in Jersey. So when X Games came to Philly, I had the support of my whole family, and I got to wear that helmet there. Pretty sweet. This one here is, this helmet's really cool because this one goes way back to the very first, this is 1999 I wore this helmet. The very first ever NBC Gravity Games in Rhode Island. And the cool thing about this helmet is it's basically personal because it has all my tattoos on it. So it has my dad's name, which is basically tattooed on the side of my neck. As you can see, that's that tattoo. It has my mom's name, Michelle Ann, and that's tattooed there on me. It has my last name, Faisst, and that's exactly how I have it tattooed on my back, my lower back. And then right here is the state of New Jersey with a little diamond over Mays Landing where I grew up, and it says in love and memory because I have a lot of good memories that come from that place. And I have that tattooed on my chest, and it's actually a necklace. So I wear it like a rope chain, and I wear that around old school gold style. So pretty cool helmet. Like I said, OG of Freestyle Motocross, 1999. Gravity Games in Rhode Island, and like I said, it's personal, it has all my personal tattoos. This one here, I believe, was just more like a militia helmet. Actually, I have this skull tattooed on my back as well, so that's another tattoo style. But for the most part, this was just a Sobeys when I rode for Sobey back in the day. No Fear Sobey. I obviously wore it at X Games. So they must have painted this helmet this must have got painted right before we went to X Games. That's why it says X Games on it. So pretty fun. I'm remembering the history as I see these. So we're gonna jump up here. This one here was our Jaeger. So this was another team helmet. That was a Jägermeister team helmet that me, Deegan, and Twitch, everybody on the team, I'm got out the little thing so I can get up here for you guys. But we all rode for Jägermeister, and so this was a team helmet. So everybody on the Metal Militia team had this same helmet. So pretty cool. That's one to hold on to, just because me, Twitch, and Deegan all had it, so that one's pretty sick. But these three, I would say, are my favorite. These were, so everybody knows, or a lot of people you know, if you didn't know, me and Taka Higashishino, the Japanese rider from Osaka, he lived with me for probably like 3-4 years. And obviously we became like brothers. We were really good friends, and obviously this is how all these helmets were painted in Japan by super popular artist called High Jumper. And you can see this is one of my favorite helmets because look at the details of this dragon. That's Faisst in Japanese. So that's my last name, and then it's tattooed going down here on my neck. But this might be, these three are definitely the best helmet paint jobs I've ever had. They were Rockstar helmets. Got the last sticker on there for Jeremy. But pretty cool. This one's sweet. And I went with three different, like basically I went with three different, he painted my helmet for 3 different years. I went with the Dragon one year, I went with the Tiger another year, and then I went with the Snake the next year. I've obviously All my tattoos, a lot of them are Japanese art style. So these are kind of like Japanese tattoo style helmets. They have that same look. But I just love like the detail with the purples and the reds and the golds. I mean, this guy's just, these helmets are just so detailed and so cool. So definitely been 3 of my favorite. And then this one too, with this Japanese style snake. And then he did Ronnie Faisst. I mean, just the way he did that gold in there just looks really, just unique. It's just, he just took a lot of time painting these and they came out super sweet. So they're the 3 sweetest. And then these would be all just team helmets. Like the Rockstar team helmets are always just black with big stars with the branding on it. So these don't really have anything. I think I got a cross on the back of this one. I got the jluvA logos from my old brand. And then obviously Faisst, Kung Fu Faisst was always a thing. So that's why my name a lot of times was written in Kung Fu style. There's the jluvA under there. That was the old brand that I had. But, and like I said, so these are pretty simple. All team mounts kind of the same. And then this helmet would have been one of the very last helmets I would have wore, because I started with Fox helmets. Then I went to Shoei helmets, and I wore Shoei helmets almost my whole career. And then right at the end, I started wearing 6D helmets. And then at the very, very end, and up to date, I went back to wearing Fox helmets, and I wear Fox helmets now. So this was right when I kind of switched over to shift gear. My last year on the Rockstar team, this was the last helmet that I wore the last year I rode for Rockstar. So love Fox helmets, pretty sweet. And I'm gonna show you some of my amateur helmets and some of my other helmets from the early years of freestyle. And none of these helmets are in order. Obviously, they kind of been just random. I kind of picked the ones in the garage just as like, I'm gonna put these ones out there, and I kind of threw the rest of these. This is our little mini warehouse for RFMX. We got our merch in here. But this helmet was painted, I wore this helmet in Peru on a film trip for Crusty Demons of Dirt. And I don't know if you guys remember that video, but you can see this Kung Fu Faisst style name again. But you can see how scratched up this helmet is. In that video, I don't know if you remember, the guy crashing down the hill, ragdolling down the mountain, that was me, and it was in this helmet. This helmet was brand new before I went on that film trip, and I came home and it looked like this. And I think I retired it because I thought I didn't do so good in that helmet. But that was me in that video crashing crazy. This one here, another one. You can see, look at all the head trauma to all my helmets. Faisst the second, I'm the second, my dad's the first, got 2 dragons. RJF, Ronald Joseph Faisst, so I put my initials on it that year. Just trying to do something different. I feel like all my helmets had Faisst on the side, so I was trying to come up with something different. So I put my initials. This helmet's really cool. So I had this painted when Lust passed away. So everybody knows Jeremy Lust, one of my best friends. We lost him in 2009 to a really bad crash. But I had this painted right after he passed away, and I wore this in at 2009 X Games that year after he passed away. So that was just a really special helmet for me. So I'm keeping this one forever. For Jeremy, represent for Lusk. So this was my jluvA helmet that we came out with. Had jluvA logos all over it. Had the Faisst with the cross with the jluvA. And obviously got the logo right there. And we actually we got a little jluvA stuff left. So this is when we rode for, so that was another team helmet. Me, Twitch, and Deegan all rode for Sobe Gold. And look at the wounds on this thing. Just scarred up. Another cross. Faisst. So just a cool team helmet. No fear. And then same thing. I think this was another one that me, Deegan, and Twitch all had painted similar, but then on the back we had personal skulls. Deegan had a skull that I think he had the militia skull. Twitch had another one that might have been one of his tattoos, but this one's tattooed on me, on my back. And I had the same painting on my Harley, on my chopper back in the day. But this was another helmet that me, Twitch, and look at the scar on this thing. Just taking some hits throughout the years but that's why we wear these things, because we crash and bump our heads. And then this one's pretty cool. This one here's got the praying hands. It's got like the little baby rosary coming off the T, kind of looks like a cross. It's got a cross here, it says Revelation 22:20. I think it's got Philippians 4:13 on this side. So obviously this is when I became a Christian, because I mean, obviously any of the crosses, that would have been years I became a Christian, because once I became a Christian, I started putting crosses on my helmet. Obviously, I became a Christian halfway through my career, so you can kind of see some of the helmet design shift from stuff a little bit. Like I said, there's that skull. So I have this skull on like so many helmets, and that's the one tattooed on my back. Same thing. And this cross I used to have hanging on my wall in my house. So this was, I brought a cross in and say, hey, paint this cross on my helmet. So that was another Sobe helmet. That was not too bad. But this one's pretty sweet here. Check this out. We're getting down here to the end. This is right here. This is what year is this? What year is that bike? Is this 2001 or 2000? This is 2000, huh? I think this is year 2000. I think that's 2000. It's hard to tell, but it's either 2000 or 2001, depending. It's definitely not 99, because that was that other helmet. This helmet, this is Gravity Games Rhode Island. So this is the very first couple years of freestyle motocross. This is where we started. 1999 is the first year it went into, so this might have been the first, no, it's not 99. This was either the second or third year of freestyle motocross at Gravity Games. And I was wearing this helmet, and this actually says Bruce Lee. So growing up, Bruce Lee was always like my childhood hero. I got a tattoo of him on my leg. I was just inspired by him, his training. I was a martial artist, and he seriously inspired me to put in hard work, because I just read his books, and he was just dedicated, super dedicated to the arts and what he loved, and it motivated me as a martial artist and as a motocross rider to just be dedicated and have a really hard work ethic. So the Bruce Lee helmet, and then this, I feel like we all had this helmet too. Me, Twitch, and Deegan, so these were Team Militia helmets. We all had this helmet as a Militia team. So this is another one that I think me, Deegan, and Twitch all had the same exact helmet. So a couple Militia team helmets. And then now we're getting into the OG of the OG helmets, because this is the very first ever. I wore this helmet. This helmet was my very last year, my very first year as a freestyle guy. So when I moved from California, this is the first helmet I had painted as a freestyle guy. So you'll see me wearing this helmet in the very first. I wore this helmet when I went to Japan for the Krusty video. Any of the early moto videos of me, like 1997, 98. This is 1998, because I wore that in 97. So this helmet was 1998. All those early video trips with the Krusty guys, yeah, look, Flesh Wound Film. So that's when I jumped on and started riding for Black Flies and Flesh Gear. So pretty cool helmet, because that goes way back into the early years of the sport. And then this is the very last. So this is the very last helmet that I wore as a racer in 1997 when I was racing as a privateer, number 317 on the Suzuki. I wore this helmet, and this is the helmet I showed up to in California. When I got to California, I was still wearing this helmet, and then I bumped over to that one. So this is pretty cool, because I can look back at old photos and see me like racing some of the nationals with this helmet on, and so that one's pretty cool. It was probably 1995 and 1996 through 96. I get my years confused. But then we're going super, I had to put them down because I have them back in boxes, but I want to break them out for you guys because I have enough room for in here. But this helmet all right, so now we're going the other way. This is the last year that I rode mini bikes. 1991, I had the number 1 on because I was number 1 in my district. But this was you guys remember Mike Kogrowski? This was a Mike Kogrowski replica. He was one of the riders that I really liked and enjoyed. So I stole his helmet design and told the guy who was painting my helmets, hey, paint it like Mike Kogrowski. So this is like old school style, old awry. But 1991 mini bikes. And then same thing, this one was 1992. And I wore that helmet also at Loretta Lynn's as a mini rider. And then same thing with this. This was 1992. So this is when I bumped up the schoolboy class. And I wore this down at Loretta's 1992. I wore this at Loretta's. So this would have been my first year in the schoolboy class. It's got the another American flag helmet with the Uncle Sam on the back with the Ronnie, so pretty cool. And then this would have been the last year that I rode at Loretta's in 1993. I wore this helmet down there, and I ran it in the 125B class. And then I would actually wear this helmet, I think when I first began to race the A class, before I bumped over and started wearing that helmet. So pretty much takes you right through some of the amateur stuff. And then this is obviously, it's all dusty and dirty, but I went into racing off-road, and Rockstar was still supporting me, and I went and raced the Pro Light class. And I did that for 2 years. So I had that helmet 1 year and then another one another year, but they're all dirty and beat up. But that's really it. Kind of cool to kind of look back at all the helmets from 1991, from my last year on minis to my amateur, a couple of my amateur helmets leading into my last year racing as a pro, right all the way up to my first year moving to Cali, and then kind of going through the whole freestyle career all the way up to my current helmet. So wanted to share with you guys. Thought it was pretty cool. They all got some cool artwork and a cool story. So I hope you guys dug it, and I hope you guys enjoy this channel and you enjoy this video. Hey, if you guys are feeling it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed, be sure to subscribe, and come check us out on Monday nights. We do a thing called Moto Monday, where we hang out every Monday night. We do a live Q&A at 7 p.m. So come hang out with us on Monday nights. And if not, check us out on the next one here on The Fight Flight.